Hey guys, welcome back to Harmon Homestead. I am down here with my buckets and my raised bed, and I'm going to give you a garden tour. So, these buckets have black-eyed peas planted in them. These are little itty-bitty small buckets, and I just wanted to see how far they would go. We have green crop bush beans here. They're yellowing bad. Guys, I just watered these last night for about an hour. Everything is drying up here. We have had no rain in days. If we're not in a drought, we're as close to it as we can be. But we've got little blooms everywhere, okay? And I did a video. I told you I was going back to the buckets because I was so worried about the raised bed, and I'll give you an update on that. Then over here, we've planted black-eyed peas in the mop buckets. They're doing great. Out of everything that's not had water, they're surviving the best, okay? You can see the leaves are yellowing, and I don't know why. These do not need a lot of nitrogen because they put off their own nitrogen, so I just don't know. It may be no water, too much heat. I have no clue, but we'll see. Got some cucumbers here in buckets. They've already started putting on runners, so I've got to trellis these here shortly. Then I planted these buckets with the zucchini rampicante squash from Baker Creek. I will say this, guys, these leaves are the most beautiful leaves I believe I've ever seen. I did not realize the size that these plants would get when I planted these in these buckets, so I doubt that they will do anything, but we'll see. I'll show you a full-grown plant here in a minute. I planted black-eyed peas just as an experiment in these little window buckets. Just as an experiment, just to see how far they would go. But not too bad for a mop bucket garden. Okay, let's go over here. My squash is yellowing terribly. By 10 a.m. with the temps at 95, these plants will be shriveled. What I'm going to do today is move these to the shade, and hopefully that will help. But let's see here. If you can see in there, look at the little squash everywhere. So we're trying. We've got squash. We've got squash, guys. We've got squash. Okay, experiment. Did radishes. They're yellowing. Radishes will not do except in cooler weather. So that's proven right there. All of these are winter acorn squash. A little bit of yellow going on, but look here. My first squash. Isn't that awesome? These are probably in 3-gallon containers. So there's the squash, okay? Let's show you here, just as an experiment to see how far they would go. I planted a butternut squash there and then a sugar baby watermelon. All right, here is the spaghetti squash that I planted in this bucket. He's doing awesome. 2 more right here. Those are actually doing well. One thing this year, everything I planted last year that didn't do, this year is doing great. Here's Cherokee bush pumpkin. Now, let me show you the raised bed. Guys, I replanted this because I was so worried, and now look, it's a jungle. I can't tell what's what. We put 7 dust on the tomato plants because we got something called white flies. Let's see if I can zoom in there. See those little white bugs? If you can tell on the camera. So, they're zapping the life out of my tomato plants. Everything. I mean, they just have deteriorated. So, today, I'm going to can green tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and pick them off here and be done with it. And I may just go on and pull up the plants. We've battled these things. We can't get rid of them. So, that it may be, it is what it is. Bush beans. I went back in and filled in. There's still some gaps. But look at this, guys. That's the dragon tongue mixed in with green crop. The green crop come from the feed store. The dragon tongue was from Baker Creek. Then at the very end back here, we have red swan. I mean, look at this. Zoom in. See those little red beans way back there in the back? That's my red swan. This is all mixed in, and I will say the red swan and dragon tongue are like semi-runners. they're pretty long. See my tomato plants, guys. We're gonna go on and get those tomatoes off and can those. Pole beans in the back. And lima beans. Lima beans have stood the heat. Look at all this. Okra. I've got probably 4 plants of okra here. I did a huge row all the way around this perimeter. Okra has not done well this year. I've got some sunflowers in mop buckets here just to see what they'll do. Okay, last year, squash and zucchini did not do that well. This year, excellent. I just picked these yesterday. I mean, look, they're loaded. Now, I have been yanking off the limb when I pick one. Okay, so that's what all that is. I'll just prune it back. It's puttering out a little bit, but overall they're still going great. Kale. We have had cabbage worms this year. I have sprayed it. I've done everything known to man. The Trocunda was eaten to a pulp. The dinosaur kale did not do so bad, but it's something about that one right there, and I can't get them off. No matter what I do, I can't. So, look at this, y'all. Look at the raised bed. It's really planted too thick. What I'm gonna do is, once these beans come in, I'm gonna pull every bit of this up and go again with all of the summer stuff. Squash, zucchini, the whole 9 yards. I'm just gonna flip it and replant it. I don't think that we're gonna have a fall garden this year. Now, let me show you this. Let me walk around to the other side. So I had one early fortune cucumber that's done well. We've gotten a few little cucumbers off of him. This is the zucchini rampicante. What I just showed you in the buckets over there, I want you to see. I mean, look at that. Guys, these things will grow like 4 inches overnight, because yesterday he was to about right here. I wanted to save him to show a video to you. Look at that. I would say definitely, if you're gonna do something that's ornamental and pretty and will give you a long, huge zucchini, the zucchini rampicante from Baker Creek. There's a baby one right there. But look at him. There's my arm. It's the length from my hand to my elbow. I'm gonna pick him today, I believe. I mean, I assume he'd keep going, but he's just taken over. But that has been well worth his weight in gold. Look, they're even coming out on the grass now. The piece de la resistance. We have the Kakuzi. This is a monster, y'all. He's taken over the whole trellis. He's out in the yard. It blooms, white blooms at night. In the evening time, he'll open up. And he's massive. But yesterday, I found some little, this is the gourds. I found some little gourds on him somewhere. But you can eat them young as like a zucchini. Okay. There's going to be your gourd. I mean, look how big he is as a baby. Oh, here's another one right there. See him? And then right here, it's just your male bloom. There's your female. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I mean, he's all the way. Let's see if I can pan out. That's just one plant. One plant, y'all. Look at that. But the blooms are magnificent. All right, we have our Blauhide purple beans. Even the vines are purple. And look at the purple blooms. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I cannot get in here to weed this out because my pole beans have taken over my netting to keep the chickens out. So I've got a ton of weeds here, but look at my amaranth. gorgeous, and it has withstood the heat. And I've kind of let the weeds go, that way it shades this out, because I can't even get in here to water this garden. Guys, we're in bad shape. We have no rain. No rain. Look where I weeded out a week ago. It's back in there. It's just dry and cracking. You can see my zucchini. Japanese beetles. I just saw a picture in the Japanese beetles have been horrible this year for us. The lima beans, I can't get over it. You can see some more of the Kokuzi blooms. But hopefully, there's another little baby one. Look at that. But it's hard to tell him from the male because the stem looks the same. Leaves are very soft, almost furry, and it grows like kudzu. Okay, about 2 foot a night. That's how it feels anyways, but I cannot get over the Rampicante. Out of everything I've grown from Baker Creek this year, this would be my favorite. Prolific, beautiful, sustainable, totally cool. And let me tell you this real quick. Normal zucchini just gets fat and huge quickly, okay? This right here, what I love about it is what our favorite thing to do with zucchini is spiralize it. This right here is so narrow, you could put this in a handheld spiralizer and just twist it around. I love that it's narrow until you get to the end. So this right here, this is going to be our zucchini from now on. But I love that it stays narrow. It just gets longer. I mean, you could cut it in half and do 2 rounds of spiralizing. That was all our crookneck squash from Baker Creek. And then I did the Black Star zucchini from somewhere else. And that's what this is. Your zucchini leaves look more almost like a watermelon. The squash is more rounded. Let's see if I can get in here and show you some lima beans. Look at the blooms. I mean, beautiful. I see itty bitty lima beans right over there. Takes them a while to fill in, but see all that? And there's our okra. That is Clemson spineless. We just didn't have good luck with okra this year, y'all. I don't know what it was, what happened, but it's turned into the masses. And I did everything horizontal this year, like horizontal rows. That was a big mistake. When I pull everything up, we're gonna go back vertically and just run it down, okay? But anyways, that's a quick update. I'll show you the pasture garden, but there's not much to see. Our corn is dying. We've not even laid it by. Some is 2 foot tall. It's just not, we've had no rain, so we can't fertilize it. And that was our second planting of corn, but we're gonna keep on going. We have had some of the Purple Prince zinnias come up and bloom. I thought those were gorgeous from Baker Creek. The deer ate all of our sunflowers, so that's hence why we started in buckets, okay? That's what we got. We're gonna be canning green tomatoes today. We'll see you next time on Harmon Homestead.